to this example here. I'm going to fly through this. You're going to practice some questions from the textbook. And we didn't need to get a rig along. There are actually lessons behind the other class, maybe up to 3 lessons now. I don't know why. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We have made 700 lessons through this, that, and the other. So I know I keep moaning about it, and I shouldn't moan about it, but if I'm going faster, that's why. Okay, because I want to make sure we do finish the course. Always helpful. Right, so here are 3 functions. F, there's not 3 functions there at all, there's just 2. So ignore that part of the question. So there's just 2 functions here, f and g. We've asked to find f of 1.5. So what do we do? Just as a recap. Put 1.5 where? Yeah, so my thing was trying to get you to say into f. Okay, so we look at function f. We're replacing the x value with 1.5. So we're going to say 5 plus 2 lots of 1.5. 2 lots of 1.5 is 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. So, okay, so that's f of 1.5. So G6 tells us we're going to do what?
10 minus 6.
10 minus, we're substituting 6 into the other function, so it's 10 minus 6. Square root of 4 is 2, plus or minus, we should say, really. When we're square rooting 4, obviously it could be the positive or negative version. Supposed to be yes?
No, that's a square root of 4.
Because it's the square root of 4.
Not negative. Wait, there's a negative sign?
So the square root of 4 can be both positive 2 or negative 2.
But we know that we did 10 minus 6 and we know
Well, okay, we're negative. It's not negative.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the square root of 4, 4 not negative, 4 is 2 or negative 2.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because negative 2 multiplied by negative 2 is 4, as is. Yes? Okay, so remember when we're square rooting these days, we should be making sure we're remembering the plus or minus bit, okay? Hopefully in an exam they wouldn't penalise you, but you never know. You could be the lucky year. Alright, B part 1. Given that FA equals 2, find A. What do we do here?
Just put 2 into that next equation.
No, but that's what most people do, so I'm glad you said it. You got to read to see. Check to see what actually says. It says that FA equals 2. So, oh gosh. So we're looking at this here. We would say 5 plus 2A. Now I'm being specific here because they did talk about A's in the question. Excuse me. 5 plus 2A equals, what is that? 2. 2. You'll see the difference in the way the word question's worded. Okay? So the value is not in the bracket. Okay, the letter happens to be different, it's not always. But they've asked us to find what value of A makes that statement true. So obviously now we're solving an equation, so we'd subtract 5 from both sides. So we'd have 2A equals negative 3. A is negative 3 over 2. Okay? And then part 2, very similar. Given that GB equals 5, find B. So we know that the square root of 10 subtract B, oh, I'm trying to make it not look like a 6, is equal to 5. How do we solve this? What's the first thing we need to do?
Square root of 10 minus 5 squared of B.
Hang on. How did you say again?
Square root of 10 minus B equals 5.
Yeah, that's what we've got on the board. But that's awesome. No, that's good that you got that. What do we do now?
Then you would square root, so 10 minus B equals 5 squared.
Good.
Sorry about that.
No, you're totally fine. So 10 minus B is equal to 25. And we're trying to find b on its own. I'm looking at this, seeing that b is negative, so I don't like that. So I'm actually going to do 10 take away 25 equals positive b. You all happy with that? So if I do this, because I've added b to both sides and subtracted 25, or in other words, in my head, I just switch these two, yes? So 10 take away 25 is negative 15. Now, if you'd done this and had negative b equals 25 minus 10, you'd have negative b equals 15. Do not leave it like that. Okay, you must make that final step to tell them what b is. So in other words, you're exactly, divided by negative 1, so it would be negative 15. Okay, either way you get the value of b is negative 15, but just be careful with those, okay? Last one, let's go back to composites. So f and g are defined as follows, blah, blah, find fg3. So do we remember when we've got fg, which one do we do first? G, the one closest to the brackets, good. So we're finding G3 first. So we're putting 3 squared, which is 9. What do we then do with that number? Put 9 into x for the function of f. Good. So we're now finding f of 9. So it's 1 over 9 minus 2. And we would just leave it as a fraction, 1 over 7.
Wait, how did you get 9 minus 2?
Because I substituted 9, that value we just got, into the function for f. Yes? You see it now? Is that a nod there?
Oh, yes, I
Alright, so B, we're finding GF 1.5, so we're finding F at 1.5 first. Well, that's very nice, is it? What's 1.5% take away 2?
Could you scroll?
Yes, totally. I was trying to keep the thing so I could see it, but... 1 over negative 0.5. Now, we wouldn't leave it like this. You have calculators available to you in your exam, so I would suggest you're going to rewrite that as a proper number. What's 1 divided by negative 0.5? Thank you. As a side note, do you know why it's negative 2?
No.
Because you've got 1 divided by negative a half. So 1 divided by negative 1/2. What happens when we divide fractions?
Keep change flip.
Keep change flip. So 1 multiplied by 2 over 1. It's still negative. Okay, we flipped it upside down. So that becomes 1 times 2, 1 times 1, which is negative 2. Okay? Just as a side note. But as I say, you had your calcs available, so you didn't need to stress too much. So we've got that value of negative 2. Now we're sticking that into G. I'm looking at your shoulder because x squared. So we've got negative 2 squared. Be careful that you're not forgetting the brackets if you're doing it with a calculator, if you can't possibly work out what negative 2 squared is. I'm hoping you can do it without your calcs, but you never know. If you do put it in, make sure you remember that negative 2 all squared gives you positive 4. Okay? Express the composite function fg in the form fgx. So now we have to keep it more general. Okay, so we're doing fgx. So hopefully this is where you remember. What do we do when we're finding fgx? Substitute the x and f to the g value. Tell me what to write. Okay, what you want to look at x. Yes. So I'm going to put that in color. Everyone happy with that? No, that's not your space. Wait, where did that? Oh, where did it come from, people? So remember, the G is being substituted into F. Okay? Now the Gx is just x squared. So what Emily did was instead of this x here, she put this whole function. Now that whole function happens to just be an x squared. So that has replaced this x here.
Well, we're at least 3x.
That's what we do now, I think, isn't it? Oh, we're not. Well, let's do that as a side question. So if it was GF, well, what did we say we had to do? Not really the opposite. So Emily said that this one was x squared minus 2 because she put the function of g into x. So what are you going to do here? Put the function of x into g, yes? So what is the function of x?
1 over x minus 2.
So we're going to have 1 over x minus 2 squared. Yeah? Okay? You're happy with that? It's a funny old concept that people struggle with a little bit. Now, if you can simplify that, then you go ahead and simplify it. I would suggest that that's not really any simpler if you expand it, but up to you. Okay? Now, what's the next question? Which value must be excluded from the domain? Oh, right. So this is going back to domain ranges. Do you remember what's the situation? When we've got fractions involved, what do we have to be careful of? Just the denominator. Now, what's special about the denominator? It can't be 0. Remember that? Yes? So we know that we are excluding where x squared minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, we are excluding when x squared minus 2 is 0. So we'd rearrange that. Yes.
Why is the x squared?
Oh, isn't it? Is it fx? Oh, I apologise. Good catch. Oh no, that wasn't my one. Sorry, I was looking at the question about. Read the question, Miss Harrison. Yes, because they just want to know what it is in F, not FE. Yes. So, as I can't remember said, we just focus on the denominator. Okay, because we don't care what's on the top. You can have any number of x's on the top. It happens to be a 1, but you can have anything on the top. It's just the bottom that cannot equal 0. Okay? So we are excluding when x minus 2 is 0, which means that x is 2 is excluded.
Why is it equal to x?
Because it's excluded if the denominator is 0. Because we know it cannot be 0. Does that make sense? Alright, so we're going to practice some questions now. So this is our final lesson on this.